So whenever I'm working on a DNA project for genealogy, I'm probably spending some time on Gedmatch. So I just wanted to kind of provide a primer for those who are unfamiliar with Gedmatch on what it is and what it can do. So what is it? Gedmatch is a very powerful third-party tool that allows anyone who has DNA tested at any of these major DNA sites to compare against one another. So if you tested on Ancestry, you're able to find matches who tested with family tree DNA as long as they also uploaded to Gedmatch. You're also able to find matches on 23andMe, and 23andMe you can find matches on living DNA or from family tree DNA or from MyHeritage. So basically you can compare all these DNA sites against one another in one place. So what does this mean? Well, of course it'll allow you to find new matches. If you only test on one DNA site and you're curious if you matched people on other DNA sites, as long as they also upload to Gedmatch, you have the potential to expand your family tree and knock down some brick walls. It's also very helpful for adoptees. Gedmatch is a great tool for anyone who may have been adopted to find their biological family. So the more people who upload to Gedmatch, that also helps them. And of course for segment analysis. So if you look at the screenshot here of DNA Painter is a tool that allows you to see which families you got which parts of your DNA from. You can actually break those down by segment, but in order to do that, you need the segment data. Now, some sites provide it, some sites do not. Ancestry, for example, does not provide those segments, so you need something like Gedmatch in order to see that. So how do you sign up? It's actually very, very easy. And I always tell people it takes about 5 to 10 minutes or less. So here are the steps. First, you download your raw DNA data. Depending on where you test, there are different ways to do that. So here are how you would do it for 3 major DNA sites. If you tested somewhere else, you kind of just look into their own site on how you would download your raw DNA data. But if you did test with one of these 3, here are the instructions right here. You can pause the video if you'd like and do this step. Next, you'll go to gedmatch.com to sign up. Right where I'm pointing that arrow, that's where you're going to sign up to register. Next, you'll fill out the user registration form. Pretty simple here. One choice you do have is you can use an alias if you'd like in that space. If you would like to protect your identity or be anonymous on Gedmatch, that's a great place to do that. And then you're going to sign into Gedmatch. So you just log in with your new credentials that you just created. And then you're going to upload your raw DNA. So when you sign in, it looks something like this. There's a whole bunch of text at the top. That's usually from Gedmatch itself in terms of announcements or news or anything they want to share with the community. And then at the bottom right of this screenshot here, you'll see upload your DNA files, generic uploads. That's where you're going to click. Next, you're going to fill out the form. So it has a form here, your name, again, if you'd like to use an alias, your gender, and you kind of go through each step here. Now, one thing to note, there's a lot of checkboxes. If you, these are really your personal choices, so please read these carefully. One thing that is interesting is if you would like to opt in for law enforcement to use your DNA data in a way to help solve crimes and help victims, you can opt in for that, but that's totally your choice. And then at the bottom, you can choose your file, and then you're going to hit upload. So you're going to choose your raw DNA file that you just downloaded, and then you're going to upload that. And that's it. You're going to be assigned a kit number, and I recommend you write this down because you're going to be using it a lot. Both if you find new matches, for example on Ancestry or wherever you tested, and you want to communicate with them, let them know that you're on Gedmatch, you want to share your kit number with them. That's one way you can do that. It's also, if you want to do any one-to-one matching with people, you're going to need to know your kit number. And the other thing to know is you won't have all of your matches until about 24 hours. But once the matches have processed on Gedmatch, you're going to be able to use that one-to-many tool right there and see all of your matches. One thing you can do immediately after you upload to Gedmatch is you can begin your one-to-one matching. However, to do this, you will need to know other kit numbers. Sometimes people share their kit numbers in some genealogical communities, some communities on Facebook, for example. So you may find some kit numbers out there, but if you're really truly just getting started, you may not have any kit numbers. But if you do have a couple of kits in your family and you get them both on Gedmatch at the same time, you can start comparing those one-to-one as an example. And then there's also some other really cool tools that they offer. Ethnicity tools, admixture. I'm not really going to go into that right now, but there's a lot of great stuff on the internet about learning how to use those tools. And they also have people who match both or one of two kits. So you can see kind of what are the shared matches and what matches do you have in common with another match to try to figure out how they're related. Here's an example of a one-to-one. This is my personal DNA. This is a match that is a known match, so I know how I'm related to that person. So it's a known cousin. And you can see I match that known cousin on chromosome 22, roughly from the 44 point to 49.8. And you can see that matches for 19.8 centimorgans. Basically, all you need to know is where that blue line is underlined. That's the DNA I share with that person. And in this case, in this example, I actually share fourth great-grandparents with this individual. I descend of one child, they descend of another child. And through other matches and analyzing this segment further, I know that this was from one of my fourth great-grandparents, one of those two people, who was born in Ireland. So I was able to trace that to a specific family. And they also have advanced tools. Now, these are called Tier 1 tools. You have to pay for these. It's just a $10 donation a month to help them with their servers and their upkeep. And they also are always adding new tools on Gedmatch and constantly developing it. So the advanced tools would include segment search if you want to look at a specific segment, a specific chromosome. Multi-kit analysis, so you can look at 10, 20, 30 kits at a time, even more than that, and see if you're studying a specific family, see where everybody matches each other. Lazarus is when you combine a bunch of living individual DNA kits to try to create the DNA of someone who has passed away. You will need multiple DNA kits of descendants as well as some cousins, ideally. And then you can kind of reconstruct their DNA. Gedmatch does that for you. You just need the kits. Evil Twin is a really cool Tier 1 tool, which allows you, as long as you had at least one parent test, also their DNA, you can see which of their DNA you did not get, and that's your evil twin. It's interesting just to see the other matches that will pop up, and it actually is helpful for phasing and some other processes a little bit more advanced, but it's helpful for genealogy as well. And then clustering is a big buzzword right now in DNA and genealogy. Tier 1 also allows you to create clusters. So that's it. That's Gedmatch 101. I want to thank you for watching, and I'd like to encourage you to subscribe for future YouTube videos. Thanks a lot.